Good morning, everybody. It's great to be here. So I'll talk about, I'll talk about Edge AI and our key learnings from the field in deploying Edge AI and related technologies. So there's a lot of very interesting work going on, and hopefully at the end of the presentation, you'll get a sense of what we are seeing. So first, let's define what's Edge AI. So think of edge computing per se as a combination of hardware, software, applications that enable agile enterprises to deploy new kinds of applications and new kinds of use cases, ones that need real-time interactive application. It could be high bandwidth application, or it could be applications that have data integrity or data sovereignty issues that need to be localized. So there are these new category of applications that need to be supported along with the cloud and the on-premises infrastructure. And it's kind of part of the distributed cloud environment that is coming about, right? So if you look at the current stage of adoption, and this is from Gartner, and we're observing something similar, we are in first phase of adoption. What does that mean? It means that use cases are very customized. It's very bespoke. There are no vertical specific templates or capabilities that are needed yet. That's about a few years out. And to get to the horizontal use cases, which is phase 3, is about 5 to 10 years from now. But the good news is that there is adoption. There is a land grab opportunity right now that's going on, and I'll talk about the market opportunity that we're seeing at. So you can see here, it's a hockey stick, right? You're looking at, in 2020, it was about $10 billion in terms of the size of the market, growing at 50% CAGR to $543 billion in 2030, so 10-year period. And in 2025, we're talking about $180 billion market. So it's a rapid growth market, and this includes, by the way, hardware, applications, software, infrastructure. You can see the breakdown there. So suffice it to say that this is a huge growth opportunity, and the fact that all of you are here today kind of supports that as well. So let's talk about what can we do with this new sort of use cases and distributed cloud capabilities, where you've got the cloud infrastructure, you've got network infrastructure, you've got on-premises, you've got edge, and there's a lot of data around. So what can we do with it? And that's where AI Ops comes to the rescue. You're looking at, and AI Ops really has this cyclical thing about observe, engage, and act. So observability is really the ability to look at or to guess the inside state of a system by observing external data. And that's a fundamental tenet of AI Ops. So AI Ops is really the ability to apply machine learning and data science to make sense of the data. And observation is the first step. You're trying to get information from logs, from data, network logs, cloud logs, devices, sensors that were talked about, and you're trying to make sense of what to do, how to understand the patterns. Is there actionable data in here that will allow me to act, automate, or meet SLAs that I'm interested in? So, and we're looking at real-time and historical data that's coming in. So having real-time data, having a historical perspective, being able to munch that in real time is really the act of what's going on. And with generative AI, we have AI capabilities that you can have algorithms hear, listen, and talk. So that adds a whole sort of data set that augments what could be done using the data that's available out there. So in terms of the phases of AI Ops, descriptive is really the first stage where IT folks will start, where You're looking at all the data that's coming at you. You're trying to make sense of it by either visualizing it and trying to discern some patterns that might be appearing. The second stage is diagnostic. Now you're kind of getting your feet wet a little bit by looking at maybe event correlation, looking at anomalies, and maybe doing root cause analysis to figure out what could be going on. And then the predictive and prescriptive stages are really further along, and I'll build this out. Predictive is really about proactive maintenance, proactive action that you would take to deal with any issues that could maybe violate SLAs or any actions that needs to be taken preemptively. Excuse me. And finally, prescriptive, which is really the nirvana of automated systems, is the self-healing automated systems where you're not only predicting what would go on, you would also fix it so that you don't have to have that 1 hour downtime of machines that was not predicted, and thereby you lost roughly about $8 to $9 million per hour. That's the cost from the manufacturing industry of a downtime. So that's where we are headed, but today we are somewhere between diagnostic and predictive. I think there's some very cool scenarios that I'll talk about, which talks about some of the predictive capabilities that we are seeing in the field. Excuse me, I have a bad cold. So let's talk about some use cases that we're seeing in the field. So the first category is really around app servers, application servers that are running on the edge devices, and some very, very interesting use cases. So the first use case is that you walk into Safeway and Kroger's, and you have music playing online, and the ads are interspersed in these audio-video streams. So this is real-time traffic, can't be done from the cloud. It's a very, very important edge use case, and the music stream and the ads are customized based on the demographics of the customers that are walking in or traversing the store. Fast food restaurant app, that's another very interesting app that we're seeing where fast food restaurants like McDonald's, when you place an ad and you kind of say, I want these things, I don't want these particular ingredients, there will be automated apps. There are automated apps that are being deployed by our partner today, which will do a quality verification of the ingredients of the order to make sure that it indeed has the pickle that you ordered, or it doesn't have the kind of cheese that you don't want. So it'll do a quality control and make sure it'll also measure the time it takes to take the order and to deliver it. It'll also have abilities to look at the parking lot and understand what's the occupancy of the parking lot, what's the driving wait time. So all kinds of very fancy stuff is going on right now. Sustainability app is another interesting application, again by another partner, where they're looking at energy consumption. So this is part of a smart building. They're looking at printing apps. They're looking at other energy consumption apps. And again, because of the nature of these apps, it needs real-time data. It needs archive data. These are apps that are possible today because of the edge being there. Excuse me. IT in a box is another app that we're seeing being deployed very aggressively. And again, going back to observability, as I said, it essentially allows you to get insights about a system by looking at external data. So managing IT services remotely, looking at device configuration, looking at critical assets, what's their security status, everything with respect to IT monitoring and ops and remote management of IT services is part of what we are delivering. And, excuse me, one of the things that's happening with AI ops is that it's converging 3 different trajectories into one single initiative. So you've got the IT operations sort of tools, you've got application monitoring capabilities, and then you have the IT service management capabilities. They're all converging with AI ops. So now you have one sort of application to observe, engage, and act. And depending on the outcomes that you're looking at, whether it's IT, whether it's application monitoring, you have it combined and converged in one place now. Healthcare is another key vertical that's deploying edge in a big way. And, excuse me, thank you. I have a bad cold, sorry. So as you can see from the video, that healthcare is a very regulated industry. There's shortage of manpower, of qualified manpower. Costs need to be managed. And what Opera Edge does, this is the edge capability that I talked about, enables remote patient monitoring. You'll see that it has capabilities to monitor the vital signs, understand the state of the patient, whether they're lying down, they're sitting up, what's their mood. So there are a lot of sensors here and a lot of data that's being captured and processed in real time to make sense of the facility, the patient health, and what can be done to alleviate any concerns that might come about. And so predictive medical device monitoring, having nurse stations access to this data, be able to respond to alerts that are viable, that are real, is very key. And this is really, at the end of the day, providing better patient outcomes for their health at a lower cost, and this is going to go up further in terms of usage. Retail is very interesting. Again, retail is one of the verticals that's really been very advanced in terms of the video is not playing. Okay, the video is playing now. Okay, so retail, again, imagine Safeway or Costco, where you have customers walking the aisles. And as they're walking the aisles, you can see that they're being recognized as, you recognize the genders, you recognize whether the customer had visited the store before, where are they spending their time on the aisle, and lots of very interesting data. And imagine if you do this for all customers that are walking through the store. So you're not only doing people counting, but you're also assessing the journey of the customer through the store. You know where they spend the time on the aisles, what's the age group, what's the proclivity to buying certain set of goods and not. And this gives you a huge amount of data that allows you to then customize how you manage your inventory, you manage what kind of signage is delivered to them, what is interesting to that age group. And then workplace safety is another criteria, especially in big warehouses, where you want to make sure that your workers are complying with the regulations, they're wearing PPE, and so you can detect that and flag alerts if they're not doing so. Excuse me. Manufacturing. This is, again, people are calling this manufacturing 4.0, where you're essentially leveraging sensors along with edge devices to gather data. And this is actually an application that we have deployed in Lexmark Manufacturing. So we are dog fooding our own application. And it does inspections. It does quality control to make sure that all the components are there. It does inventory management and control. And then transportation management. We have an app which is part of this, which looks at how many trucks are in the dock, how many are leaving, occupancy of the parking lot kind of application. So again, I want you guys to feel that this is real. This is happening today. It's certainly going to get better, but it is real, and we have customers some of them are trying this out, POCing it, and deploying it. So let me talk a little bit about Lexmark Edge AI, and I think, Zach, you showed this, but I've got one of these devices right here. This is what it looks like. This is one of the devices. So our Edge offering is a family of devices, starting with an entry-level compute-only capability. And at the high end, we have certainly NVIDIA-enabled very high-end real-time processing and higher compute capability-enabled devices. And it's a family of devices, as I said. We have a very software-driven modular architecture to deploy apps. So it's containerized, one-click push, and you have the app deployed on the device. And then we have a portal that allows you to remotely provision it, configure it, deploy it, manage it, operate it. So zero-touch operations is the goal there. Now, I'm not talking about the IoT platform, which is also another offering, because we are focused on edge AI, but that's a distributed system for managing any connected device. So I'm going to be focusing on the edge AI offering today. And so I just want to thank Edge Impulse for giving us the opportunity. You guys have been great partners. I think Edge Impulse and NVIDIA combined with our capability really enables our partners and customers to develop and enhance apps very quickly, and makes the edge computing capabilities and the upsurge that we're seeing possible. And certainly on the NVIDIA side, we heard from Amit earlier. It's really fantastic to see the innovation that's happening there. And so this is a vendor ecosystem that we're very proud of. And as you'll see, to be successful in the current state of adoption, having a vendor ecosystem collaboration is key to success. Now, I want to also leave you with the fact that while this is a hugely growing market, there's a land grab opportunity, there are some challenges, right, as part of the learning. One is to make sure that the edge devices have to become faster and cheaper and higher, should be able to do multiple teraflops in a small box, and that's happening, but not fast enough. Securing the edge infrastructure is another key, because if it's on the edge, it becomes the attack surface on the edge devices become a key target, and that's why Lexmark, we've been building IoT systems, multifunctional printers, and IoT devices. There are about 7 million of them out there, and about 1.5 million of them are cloud-connected devices. So security is very important to us. Our Opera Edge devices are enterprise-grade security enabled, but this continues to be a constant push. And the lack of technical standardization is a challenge too, in terms of data formats, in terms of interchangeable formats, and being able to continue to work on that through the vendor system collaboration is key. And then orchestration and management to make sure all of this works together, back end, front end, and that's where the IoT management system that I didn't have time to talk about today enables that. So in summary, what I would say is that these are exciting times. Edge computing and AI/ML algorithms, generative AI coming into the play mix is really driving a lot of very interesting use cases and applications. And there's land grab opportunity out there. So for the startup entrepreneurs who are thinking about the next wave, this is happening right now. And certain verticals and use cases are really leading the way. I talked about healthcare, I talked about manufacturing, I talked about retail and healthcare, of course, and then some custom use cases, bespoke use cases that customers are deploying today. So let's all enjoy the ride. Thank you.